From Relay FM, this is Connected, episode 447. Today's show is brought to you by electric and fast-growing trees. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mr. Federico, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you the returning guest and co-host. Are you a guest or are you a co-host?
No.
Can you be both? Mr. Stephen Hackett. Hello, Stephen.
I missed 1 week.
Well, we'll see if you can be promoted back to co-host again.
Okay.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. It is good to be back, and it's good to be joined by Mr. Myke Hurley.
Hello, I have two observations so far about the beginning of the episode.
Okay.
Observation 1. When Federico starts the show, it starts with an intense energy.
Yes.
The second is the way you said your name
Yes.
sounded different to me. And I wondered if you either stumbled or you have like an Italian way of saying Federico Vitici that you don't usually say in English.
I do have an Italian way to say my name. Yes.
Can I hear it?
Like as I would pronounce my name.
If you're someone in Italy,
Yes. Ask me, hey,
who
what?
is Italian,
Can you give me your full name?
what is your name?
I gotta switch modes. This is weird because I don't usually do it. Federico Vitici.
Yeah, no, that wasn't it. It sounded like you put way less emphasis on the consonants. Like,
Federico
but anyway,
Vitici.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know.
We can move on
Okay,
from this.
cool.
The Pixel tablet has been spotted at a Google event as part of Milan Design Week. Federico, there you go. If you want to.
I was there, just hanging out with my buddies at Gucci and Fendi.
Got to get over there.
Yeah, I was just I saw it. I was actually in backstage with all my fashion friends.
So which of the colors that they had was your favorite color?
Oh, the pink one, absolutely.
The pink one is really good. I'm not surprised
It's the
that you
color
like
of
that.
2023. They tell me.
Is it?
Oh. Who?
No,
Google?
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
It was good, though. It was convincing.
You know, one of the things about me, I think, is like I don't usually use this talent, but I think if I applied myself, I could be a pretty good liar, just in general.
The problem with what you've said there is, I don't know if you're telling the truth.
And is it something you want to be good at?
No, in fact, I don't use that talent. But I think if I were to put myself in a position where I had to use it, I think I would be a pretty good one.
I think that we have all faced this. And what I will do now is say something and provide no context for it. So people that have been listening for long enough will know what it is. People that don't, won't. And that's what you get. It's like that time when you told us that there was a concern that you had skin cancer. And now we move on because Federico was lying to us.
True.
So this is no.
I told
No,
okay.
you don't get anything.
I didn't tell you I
Right?
was
You
sick.
did that thing.
I just told you I needed to get it checked out, and it was all part of an elaborate plan to fool you.
No more details. Yeah, that's where you end, right? You
Okay,
did that.
okay, fine,
So this is the
fine.
price you pay.
That's what I'm
now.
saying, though. For the greater good, I can be a
Yeah.
pretty good liar.
That one's for the greater good of 600 people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But that's the end of that. Okay.
To make them have a good time.
Ah.
Yeah, okay.
Enough. But this is proof that the Pixel tablet does still exist. We were wondering about last week. Maybe we're going to see about it in a couple of weeks' time.
When is Google I/O again? May...
It's on May 10th, I think.
Oh, so it's before the new Zelda. Okay. So I'm organizing my life this year as in before Zelda and after Zelda. So this one is before
and
Zelda.
AZ, as we call it now.
Okay, fine. I'll watch it then.
Didn't they announce this tablet like 5 years ago?
It was at last Google I/O,
Yeah.
and then in the Pixel event, they showed it off again and still said it's coming. And now we're all the way around to a new one where they're maybe going to announce a folding phone, and that tablet still is yet to ship.
I wish them the best of luck with this because they have really struggled in the tablet area for a long time. Maybe this is the year.
My expectation is that this is because of the folding phone stuff coming to kind of like vanilla Android, that Android screens are going to get bigger. So maybe they're like, well, we can now maybe there'll be interest in tablet apps again. That's my expectation for why they're doing this. I don't think it's going to work out, but like realistically, I don't know how well Pixel works for Google in general. So maybe this will just be another thing that slots into that current like place that they have in their lineup as a company.
The action button has been spotted. MacRumors is reporting on some CAD drawings that certified accessory makers have been given to start building cases and stuff. This design shows 2 separate volume buttons, just like we have now. So that discussion about it being one long button may not be panning out. The action button is above it where the ringer silent switch is now. And it looks to be about the same size as the ringer silent switch. It just doesn't.
Hang on. I thought this had gone away.
Yeah,
Why are we back here again?
Like last week we were saying, no, all these rumors are wrong. They're not doing it anymore. Now they're doing it.
Now
How
it's
are we back to there's a button again?
Now there's a button again. It is tiny and not. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess in my mind they were going to use the kind of all-in-one volume button that rocked back and forth like they did way back on like the iPhone 3G and 3GS, and the action button be separate. Although looking at this design, it has dawned on me, if they're all 3 separate buttons, they can't be the same size because you wouldn't know where you were just by touch.
Yep.
But it's kind of puny looking.
It isn't just one button. This is 3 separate buttons.
3 separate buttons.
It's the opposite.
Are you getting it?
So what is the thinking that there is now going to be an action button, but the action button
Seems
will
like
physically move? Like that's the difference?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, even better, right?
Or they all move. Didn't they get rid of the solid state buttons too?
Wait, what are you saying?
So this I'm just going to read from this report.
Steven, we spoke about this like 2 weeks ago on this show.
It's hard to remember.
Oh, this isn't good. I don't like this vibe. Do you really not remember this?
Do they get rid of the buttons or not? This report says 2 mechanical volume buttons and additional mechanical button that replaces the ringer silent switch. So all 3 buttons move.
The conversation was that these buttons were not going to move, right? And that the idea that the action button was going to exist went away because they would have to go back to physical moving things again. They would put the solid state off for a year.
Yes.
So then the idea was like the switch would come back. That there wouldn't be an action button because...
Yeah. Now it says there are 3 buttons. The action button is here, and they're all 3 mechanical, physical buttons.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on in this phone.
I mean, personally, like as long as there's a customizable action button, whether it's a solid state one or it physically moves, like that is not why I care about this ultimately. Like actually maybe even better if it's a physical one.
I would prefer the button to physically move and for it to be an action button if I'm going to have that.
I mean, I'll take that. Like all these, like I don't have a strong opinion about moving from physical to solid state or vice versa. Like just give me a customizable button. I'm going to be happy regardless. So yeah, cool.
Cool.
Go CAD makers. Yay. Whatever.
Yeah. Go CAD people.
CAD people. Yeah.
We were talking about apps, Mac apps last week. Federico wanted some suggestions. I have some suggestions, but I wanted to follow up and say I tried out some of the things that you mentioned. One of them, what was the Alt Tab one? What was that called?
Alt Tab, yeah.
Is that what it's called? Just Alt Tab?
Alt Tab, yeah. That's
that app works so badly with Stage Manager.
I'm sorry about that.
No,
I can
it's not your
imagine.
fault. So, in Stage Manager, you've got the little preview windows that are off to the side.
Oh, yeah, the strip.
Yeah, that's how they show in the Alt Tab preview thing.
Oh, no.
So, they're all like
horrible.
little half windows. It's not good. It's not their fault, right? Like, this is just the way that goes, I guess. But that was that. But Lasso, the window management app, me and Lasso have been getting on very well together. That is
nice.
an excellent app. I'm using it as a second system. So I'm still using Moom for my keyboard shortcut enabled basic templates that I like a centered window or 2 windows side by side, that kind of thing. What I'm using Lasso for is for ad hoc window placement. And that system of drawing makes so much sense. What I wish I could do, though, I don't know if there's an app that exists or if this is even possible. I want to be able to draw the exact space that I want it to occupy, not take up the blocks.
Maybe like a customizable grid or like a non-grid system. Yeah.
A non-grid system, right? Like, you know how you take a screenshot using CleanShot?
Yes.
I want to do that, but for Windows, right? Like,
Yes.
occupy this exact space for me.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's an excellent suggestion. Maybe if the developer is listening to this, maybe they could consider it. I like that a lot. Yeah.
I don't know if that's possible, but I would like that. So, but the passionate ones wrote in. We got lots of suggestions. I took out the ones that I know you know about. And I know this because I know you, and also some of the suggestions that John gave you on the last episode of App Stories overlap to some of these.
Okay.
So Cameron wrote in and said, if you like Almighty, you should check out PastePal. It's by the same developer. It's a cool clipboard manager.
PastePal. I'm using the Raycast clipboard manager, but this looks nice. I like that it. Wait, is this everywhere? iPhone, iPad, Mac? Does it sync? I like the visual. Yeah, sync clipboard history. Ooh, this is an excellent one.
There you go.
I like the visual aspect of it on macOS. Ooh, this is okay. Thank you. All right.
Started off well from Cameron there.
Very well. Very well. Very well. Okay.
Wes recommends Hookmark, which is an app that lets you instantly create markdown links to the current file, web page, and more that you can paste anywhere.
So I am familiar with this one. Is this the app that has like a white paper that you gotta read to understand it? Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
The guy behind it, we've had him on Mac Power Users before. He's big into like
the
cognitive
academic
research, and the
yes.
app is kind of based around some of his work in that field.
Yep.
Hookmark is cool. My favorite feature of it is that you can get a URL to an Apple note, like a deep link. It's like something you should be able to do, but Apple doesn't do on its own. But the idea is it's kind of like a launcher for things local on your computer in the file system. And you can get links to basically anything on the system anywhere.
Damn, this is actually pretty cool though. Like you can create links, and these are like custom URL schemes basically that reopen just anything you want, even if it doesn't have, like you said, like an Apple Note or a file. Like you can get a link to a file and like save it in your task manager or something, and it's gonna work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those links are gonna be Mac only for sure.
Yeah, they are.
All right. I'm gonna save, like I'm gonna have tabs open for all of this.
Well, Federico, like most, like all of links, you can be like the listeners when the episode comes out. You can get them all in the show notes.
In the show notes, you're right. I should.
I'm selecting them all, putting them all in, so you'll be able to get them.
Beautiful.
Carrying on, we have Luke, who recommends Dropover and says it's a very slick shelf app. You love a shelf app that appears when you wiggle your mouse while dragging.
Ooh, look at that.
So you could run custom scripts by dropping a file onto them.
Even shortcuts?
Maybe.
Probably.
Instant actions? If this lets me assign like an individual shortcut, yeah, it seems like you can. There's a command bar. Yeah, okay, so I could, because I do this all the time, like I select images in Finder and then I drop them into the icon for my upload shortcut that I have in the dock. Mm-hmm. But if I could just select and wiggle the cursor a little and the shortcut appears underneath the cursor without having to go over to the dock, that would be even better. Okay.
It's a cute UI.
Yeah.
I like the UI.
These are all excellent so far.
Jose has a selection of them. Q Blocker, which adds a delay when you press Command Q so you don't quit apps by mistake.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh.
This is on GitHub though, so like I don't know, like you don't come at me, all right?
Kind of scary.
That's on the sketchy side, maybe.
When I used Safari, because I've been back in Chrome for a long time, I changed just Safari's
get into that at some
to
point.
Command Option Q, because quitting Safari is like a sadness when you have a bunch of tabs open. And Chrome has the built-in delay, which people think isn't very Mac-like, but I'd rather have a delay than close 40 tabs when I'm working on something.
Yeah, that thing, I know that people don't like that, but it's like, maybe it's not Mac-like, but it is a good user feature to have if you want it, right? Like
a delayed browser is eventually good.
But A delayed quit is eventually good. A bad quit is always bad. I turn that feature off because I don't use Chrome enough, right? So it like trips me up. But if Chrome was my browser, I would leave that feature on because it really annoys me when I do accidentally quit Safari.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Mission Control Plus, which adds extra
I use this
functionality
one.
to Mission Control. Okay.
I use it already. Yes, I love this. I love this one. Lets you
yoink.
close windows. Oh, yoink.
For dragging and dropping files between spaces, if that's the thing that you do.
I don't use spaces. But
And this one was really interesting to me. It's called Text Sniper. The UI is you're taking a screenshot, but what it's doing is copying the text that is in the screenshot that you've taken.
Oh my God, this is like what live text should be.
Yeah, I say live text, but much more convenient because
So whatever text is in the screenshot window that you've drawn, it will then copy it to your clipboard.
I love this.
Isn't that clever? I think this one's on setup.
Perfect.
We'll check that, but I want to check that before I...
The Discord is upset that their Safari reopens tabs when they quit it. And so I don't have mine set to do that, or I need to revisit. I haven't used Safari very much in a long time.
There are asterisks to that. I have found that sometimes if you have multiple windows open, it maybe doesn't always open all the windows, but you can reopen all the windows from the last session, which is a thing that you can do.
Yeah.
There are things that you can set it up. But for me, it's not ever really a problem for me because I use tab groups, and so they're always there, synced across all my devices anyway. The last recommendation for you I have, Federico, is called Latest, and it comes from Eshu, who says, it's a super simple app that checks all of your Sparkle and App Store apps for updates, puts the release notes in one place, and lets you update them all with one click. It's pretty lightweight and open source, makes updating Mac apps outside the App Store much easier.
Download it immediately. I love this.
I would love if people have other recommendations, just keep sending them in. Like you can hear what we like, what's interesting to us. I think this is like a good resource for everybody. So go to connectedfeedback.com and you can write those in.
Yeah, it already found 3 updates for me, including, oddly enough, the latest app itself.
Oh, that's good.
Which I just downloaded, but this is perfect. Ooh, wow. Okay,
that is an interesting user choice, right? Like a development choice. I actually think it would be...
Oh, was it done on purpose?
That you always download the previous version from the website, so the first time you run it, there's always something there.
Oh, that's clever.
I don't know if they've done that, but if this was my app, I would do it that way.
That is genius. And yes, I'm installing updates already.
Stephen, would you like me to create a toggle in the connected feedback page so it will say like...
Mac apps.
Mac apps?
Mac app suggestions.
Mac apps
yes.
for yes.
Mac app suggestions.
Thank you all. Thank you. Oh, the passionate ones are the best ones.
Yep,
You know?
really
They
are.
are.
Keep sending these in.
Taste.
These are good.
Excellent taste, really. I mean, see, you have a good audience. Good people.
I'm enjoying that y'all are becoming Mac Power users. You know, all these little utilities.
Yep.
Get it done. I wanted to mention, I meant to say it when you were talking about window management, but I missed my opportunity. I'm using Magnet for this because I'm using a MacBook Pro and a Studio Display, and they're both open. You know, both use the MacBook Pro is not in clamshell mode or anything. I'm using it as a second screen. But then when I go unplug it and use it in the house or at a coffee shop or something, everything's madness because all the window sizing is different.
Yep.
And I mean, I like Magnet. I like it's kind of on a grid system and it's all keyboard based, but I've downloaded Lasso to try it because I think from looking at its website, what it can do looks really awesome.
But if we were like not Mac Power users, but it was like a level lower, right? Mm-hmm. It's like it wasn't like Power. Like what would it be? You know what I'm saying?
You're like a Mac Pro user. Oh,
you and David are like the Mac Power users, and we're just like the like a lower than Power.
Lower than Power? Would be
we'd be like Mac prosumer users or something.
No, we'd
right?
be like would be like so before Power. What's so before Power? Mac medium user, Mac ignition user.
Well, if you've got Power Rangers, we could be like the Mac Ranger users.
Mac Ranger.
Kate said Mac current users. That's good.
My current.
We can work on that one.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Electric. Turning a small business into an empire takes work. You have to keep your ear to the ground for things that will help you take things to the next level. But this can be hard when your attention is pulled in different directions, because that's just the reality of being a boss. The team over at Electric knows small businesses, maybe like yours, face these challenges. That's why they're on hand to help with time-consuming parts of your business, like standardizing device security with best-in-class device management, so you can implement the best practices across the board and be ready to scale. Employee onboarding and offboarding done for you, saving you an average of 8 hours per request. Keeping a single point of visibility into your IT environment to control your devices, networks, and applications. Electric provides simplified reporting that allows you to achieve and maintain compliance, and proactive IT recommendations and automated workflows to make IT easier to manage even for non-technical users. If you're hearing this and you think your company could use some of the services, but you're not sure where to start, Electric's experts will guide you through the process of establishing standardized IT processes for your organization. Being able to delegate as a business owner is super important. Even though you may be really good at this stuff, you need to focus on what makes your business grow. Electric plugs in, they're a great team, and they can really help you move things to the next level. For Connected listeners, Electric is offering a free pair of Beats Solo 3 headphones for taking a qualified meeting. Just go to electric.ai/connected. That's electric.ai/connected. Go there now to get a free pair of Beats Solo 3 headphones today for scheduling a meeting. Our thanks to Electric for their support of the show and Relay FM. I did some real-world reporting last week, and I can tell you that crash detection on the Apple Watch and iPhone really works.
I'm so sorry. Can you tell us the whole story?
Yes. So there's a picture in the show notes of this. The picture is not upsetting.
Well, I will say it might be upsetting if you have been in the situation Stephen was in.
Yes, but there's no
right?
There's not like a person hanging out of the car or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a very smashed up Toyota Tacoma.
Yeah.
So last week I was driving home I'd taken one of my kids to school, and then I helped my mom run an errand, and then I was coming home from that, from a direction that I don't normally enter my neighborhood. And on the other end of my neighborhood, there's a stoplight, but it's a completely residential area. So all four sides of the stoplight intersection are houses, which is a little unusual in my part of town. But I came to the light. I turned right, and I got hit from an oncoming vehicle. He was pulling a trailer, and kind of before I knew it, I had been hit, went up over the curb, glanced off an oak tree in someone's front yard, and then my truck rolled over and came to a stop completely on its roof with the tires facing the sky. I don't recommend anyone try to recreate that because it's super scary. And I should say off the top, I'm okay. I did hit my head and have a mild concussion, but I feel way better than I did a week ago, and a hairline nose fracture that's healing nicely, according to the doctor that I saw. So I'm okay. It's honestly amazing. Seatbelts and airbags work. So the lesson is wear your seatbelt. And yeah, I crashed and my Apple Watch was going bananas.
Are there still people who don't wear seatbelts?
I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah.
Certain parts
stupid.
of the world, yes, people don't wear seatbelts.
That's stupid. Okay.
I've experienced this, yeah.
Do you want to say where? You just want to leave that to the...
I don't.
No,
we will
leave
leave
it at
that
that.
to the listener's imagination.
Steven, I hope this never happens to me.
Me too.
But for the sake of knowing how to react in this situation, did you realize it was happening? When your car was flipping over?
Yeah, what did that feel like? I haven't really asked you that either.
I honestly have no idea what it feels like.
It didn't feel good. I definitely... So the rollover wasn't very fast. I had just turned, so I wasn't... I didn't have a lot of momentum, in my speed yet. Now, the person who hit me was moving. By the time I had gone over the curb and hit the tree and rolled over, the rollover was pretty slow. And it only rolled over one time. It's not like I flipped down the road side to side, right?
Okay.
So I had time. I had the full thought of, oh no, I'm rolling over.
It's happening.
I don't
Okay.
know if what's worse, like if you know you're going, right? Like, is that worse than it happening like quick,
Yeah, I think happening quick is definitely worse, because then if it's quick, it means it's like gonna happen multiple times, most likely.
I didn't see the accident coming because, again, I got hit from kind of like the rear quarter panel of the truck. I did see him, kind of pass me, like him going on the road and me running over this poor family's garbage cart, it's in the picture. I demolished their garbage cart. And then, after that, it was kind of slow motion. Lots of adrenaline, right? Like,
Right.
lots of tensing up and that sort of thing. So I had full time to realize, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm going to be upside down in a second, and this is not good.
And what's the first thing you did? Like you try to get out of the car. I assume.
Yeah, so the first thing I did was try to shut up my Apple Watch, because like it was the alarm was blaring, like,
Oh, it was just going.
Yeah, so explain what is happening with the phone and the watch. Like, what is going on with the crash detection? Like, what happens?
so the phone wasn't doing anything. In fact, I didn't even know where my phone was. I found it later, and the phone didn't break. So like, go iPhone.
So you can flip a car, but you can't, like, go to a creek.
Walk down the street.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, the phone was fine, but my Apple Watch Ultra was like the countdown to call emergency services. Now, I didn't black out in this, but this time frame is like very hazy in my memory, and I remember having to like push some combination of buttons to tell my watch that I was like okay before it called emergency services. It may have. I don't know who called 911. Maybe my watch did make a call. I couldn't actually tell you, but I was able to get it to stop blaring the siren at least. But I mean, the truck, I think it was going off before the truck rolled over. Like, it was pretty quick. And the phone didn't do anything. So I believe the way this works is if both are present, it defers to the watch because the watch is on your body. So like, it was also vibrating like more than I've ever felt it. Like, really, that Taptic engine was just going to town on my wrist, because it wants to get your attention, right? If you're out of it, which like I said, did not black out, but definitely was like, what's going on? So I kind of take a second. I realize I'm upside down, and I hear again, I'm in the front yard of this like family's house. And the family all rushes outside, and this woman is like yelling at me, like, "Are you okay?" Because the airbags had gone off, and the truck had side curtain airbags, so they couldn't see in the truck. And I was like, "Yes, I'm okay," but I couldn't get the seatbelt undone. And because I'm a dad, I have one of those things. Like, one end, you can like hit automotive glass, and it will break it. So if you need to like break a window, like say that you go into the water or something truly scary. And the other end is a cutter, so you can cut a seatbelt. Well, it was in my glove box, and when I opened my glove box...
Wait, where can I buy this thing?
Let's see, Amazon.
There's like 1,000 of these things on Amazon.
Let's see, car. So when I opened the glove box, stuff just went everywhere, right? Because the truck was upside down. Here's the one I have. I'll put it in the Discord.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got two of them for like $10. And
Okay.
I've got one, and there's one in my wife's van. But I couldn't find it because I opened the glove box and things went everywhere. So someone in the house had a knife, and they cut the seatbelt. I crawled out on my own. The guy helped me open the car door, but I was under my own power, and everything was fine. And then the police showed up, and I went to the hospital and got a CT scan, and here I am. So that was my week last week. And y'all and everyone else at Relay was super kind. Like, I did not work at all last week, except for a little bit on Friday, and just took the week to recover. In fact, today is my first full day back, and this was last Monday, the day of the accident. The truck is totaled. They declared it a total loss the day of, and I have a newer Toyota truck on the way.
Yeah, Toyota for life now.
Yeah.
Loyal customer from now on.
The car saved his life. Like,
Yeah, I mean, for real though, yeah.
a different car, maybe under different. It was a horrible accident.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't flip upside down for like that's like a bad thing.
Yeah, so like when I went to the emergency room, like you're like having to tell the check-in person, like what happened, and like, oh my gosh, and like they, and then you're telling the doctor what happened, and like, holy cow, no cuts. I got some bruises and some scrapes, definitely sore, but yeah, if you look at the picture of the truck, the cab was remarkably intact. In fact, it didn't even break any glass in the truck, which blows my mind. I mean, the roof is crushed in a little bit, but not. I could freely move inside the truck. When the truck was upright, I went and saw it a couple of days later to get some stuff out of it. And like you could sit in the truck and still have headroom. Like it was remarkably intact, remarkably strong. And so yes, Toyota has my loyalty now forever, I think.
And also, thankfully, like your kids were not in the car with you. Like you were alone.
Yeah, I was alone. The other driver was unharmed and their car was drivable. So because our initial impact wasn't very much. I mean, really, it was the momentum and the physics that, pushed me over the curb and then over. So thankfully, the person was unharmed. And I'm, like I said, remarkably okay for an accident like this. It was wild. But I'm here. And on the show last week, y'all asked people to send me on Mastodon information about their first Macs.
Okay.
And so I have gotten lovely replies all week about this, but I decided this is going to be episode number 2 of the Aries, where I'm going to quiz you about Macintosh history. So,
why is it called the Aries again?
Picking an heir to the Apple history throne.
Ah, yes. And also, I guess, to your DevonThink database.
Yes. I think we talked about that too. So, this is all the more important after my last week, right? What if I wasn't here anymore?
Oh, Stephen, don't do that.
No. And Myke, I've apologized to you many times. I will do it again. You were one of my first calls because I was going home because we had a meeting. I was like, I'm not going to be there. And apparently I was really out of it when I called you. And
it was one of the worst phone calls I've ever received in my life. So Stephen called me and told me he was in an accident, and it did not sound like Stephen. It sounded like it was somebody else calling me. Like your voice was different. It was very weird. And he told me on the call, I'm upside down in my truck, but he wasn't.
I was out of the truck.
He told me that he was upside down in the truck, and then also told me because of this he would miss our meeting, which was funny to me.
Yeah,
that was like where like I'm like, oh, you're still gonna make the meeting though, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And also like at that point, because he called me like that, so I was asking Stephen questions like, have you called Mary? Like I didn't understand because it was at that moment I could tell something was wrong with your brain, right? Like you were just in shock or like whatever.
100% in shock.
Because you also said to me, I've hit my head very hard. And I was like, this is bad. It was horrible. And so I was like, have you called Mary? He's like, yes, I've called Mary. I was like, great.
Yeah.
Go then, and I'll speak to you later on. And then I opened Find My Friends, and I was just watching your dot until it moved.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's at the hospital. Mary rushed over from work, and my dad was actually my first call because where this accident is around the corner from his house. And I was thinking, my first thought was my dad lives around the corner, and I need somebody here, right? And but he was like the next county over helping a friend with something, and so I think he was kind of freaked out too. And anyways, he rushed back.
Yeah.
Were you? Let me ask you the last question and be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Were you angry at the other person? Like,
no.
Did you get in an argument? No, everything was okay. Yeah. All
no,
right.
This is just one of those things that like it's wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
And truly an accident. Like not upset with him, not upset with myself. Everyone is fine. So yeah, just move forward.
That's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So the current score for the Aries, Myke has 11, Federico has 6. I verified those scores with Relay FM historian Kate, and they said this was the score. So I believe them. So I have.
You're not keeping score.
Well, I was, but I didn't. Remember, there was an error, and so I want to make sure that I corrected my note.
Oh yes, in your first initial quiz, you got the scoring incorrect.
So I will try to do better this time.
Yeah, let's see. You aren't working at full brain capacity in this episode, though, so, we will let you go.
So is it okay? Is, like, our brain jokes okay already on this show? Just checking.
Federico, I had this conversation with Stephen. I think this was a couple of days ago, I think,
Yeah.
of like how far into the episode from the point where he tells the story can we make fun of him?
Yeah.
And I think it's immediate because this has already occurred privately. I think there was a moment where on the day of the crash, me and Stephen were cracking jokes, and I think Mary got mad at us and was like,
Okay.
we can't do that right now." Okay, because Stephen, he just starts making jokes about it immediately, so I'm just like all
Right,
in.
cool. All right.
And then we had to stop. But now I think enough time has passed that I think is fair game. We just make fun of him as much as we like. I don't know.
All right, cool. Well, then let's see if hitting your head has any benefits to making a better quiz.
Maybe you will never get math wrong again. Maybe you beautiful-minded yourself.
Yeah, preparing this quiz was basically the only thing I did yesterday, and I had a headache afterwards. So let's see how this goes. So I have 5 questions based on the listeners' self-reporting on Mastodon about their first Macs. These numbers I did this yesterday. A couple of people replied, I think today. You didn't make the cutoff. I'm sorry, because I have like a numbers document that I was like making charts in for this. So there's 5 questions. The correct answer is 1 point, and we'll start with the first. And since Federico is the loser, Federico gets to go first. Federico, of these respondents, what is the split between desktop and notebook percentage-wise? Close. I'll say closest gets the point.
I am gonna go with we asked them to send you their first Macs.
Mm-hmm.
First Mac. Well, I'm gonna go with 30% desktop, 70% notebook.
I'm going to go 71% notebook.
You're 29% desktop, 71% notebook. Well, Federico gets the point. 49% desktop, 51% notebook.
You and your over/under, Mike.
We're a bunch of weirdos. What are you buying?
Well, first Mac, a desktop. What are you doing?
You know what? I think we both fell for the same issue, Federico. I'm thinking young people, but that's not necessarily the case.
We're dealing with lots of old people with disposable income here. Yeah,
we can categorize now because like my first Mac was a desktop, but like I'm just thinking like people these days buy laptops, but
yeah.
I guess that doesn't count, right? People buy. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a point for Federico. Number 2, Mike, you'll go first. What is the most common year that listeners got their first Macs?
Ooh, this is impossible. just throw a number out there, Mike.
2009.
2006.
So I will start at the bottom and we'll go way up. The 5th most popular year was 2009.
Oh, damn.
The 4th most popular year, 2003. The 3rd most popular year, 2005. The 2nd most popular year, 2006.
Wow. Okay.
The most popular year, 2008. So Mike was just 1 year off, so Mike gets the point.
Wow. We were right in a pocket. Right. What was the spread on that? 2006 to 2010?
It's 03. So chronologically, 03, 05, 06, 08, 09.
That is so close.
That's a very tight band.
Huh. All right.
So, Federico, you'll be up for the next one. This next one talks about processor platform. So, list the top 3 processor platforms in order of popularity in these answers.
What's a processor platform?
I was like, what does that mean?
Intel versus Apple Silicon, for example.
Yeah. So, Intel, number 1. Number 2, PowerPC. Number 3, Apple Silicon.
Okay, Mike?
I'm going to go Intel most popular, Apple Silicon number 2, PowerPC number 3.
No one gets the points.
Oh. Wow.
Here,
Right, cool.
number 5 is the 6502 family of processors that was in the Apple II at 3%.
No idea what it means.
I don't know what it is.
Apple Silicon, 3%. Remember, we're talking first Macs.
Yeah, I know.
3rd place at 26%, 68,000 line of Macs.
What is that? Isn't that PowerPC?
Before PowerPC.
Isn't that?
Right, but Stephen, you need to.
That's a before PowerPC.
Right, but you see, a minute ago, you just said like the most popular were between like 2006 to 2010. That's why we both went with the ranking that we did, right? Like none of these Macs were available in this time frame.
Federico got it right. So PowerPC is in second place at 29%. Intel, the most popular, at 39%.
Okay.
So no one gets a point.
But you can see why we went the way we did, though, right?
Oh, 100%. I was surprised by this. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
That's because that's very strange.
Today I learned that there's a before PowerPC. I didn't even know.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I thought it was all PowerPC. I thought people just referred to like, oh, it's PowerPC, but it's 6800 PowerPC.
It's PowerPC. Like I thought it was a shorthand for like, oh yeah, it's just eggs or like a generic term.
There was a transition to PowerPC.
See, that's what I mean. Like, wait, what? Really? But nobody's like that's the transition no one talks about, right?
Yeah. All right, Myke, you're up next. Again, the closest person wins in terms of year. What is the oldest year reported in my mentions?
1982.
1978.
Federico gets it. It was 1979.
What?
Nice.
What was that even?
An Apple II
II.
or whatever. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Although, I mean, technically, that answer is also wrong because we asked their first Mac, and that's not a Mac.
Yeah, I was careful in my question to you. I didn't say the oldest year that a Mac was reported. I just said the oldest year reported.
This is fake.
But
news.
yes, Apple II, not a Mac.
Yeah.
All right. The final question. Again, closest person gets the point. What is the most recent year reported in our listenership for their first Mac purchase?
Is this Federico first?
Federico first.
No, it's you first.
No, Myke went first last
No, it's
time.
me.
I just went first the last time.
Most recent. Last year, 2022.
I'll say 2020.
Federico gets it again. 2023.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh?
That person's dead to me. Whoever that was.
Interesting.
Someone's on their first Mac right now.
Nice.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I think the saddest reply I got, someone's first Mac was like the first Butterfly MacBook Pro. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's so bad.
Oh, yeah, man.
So at the end of this round, Myke has 12 points and Federico has 9. Good job, guys.
Catching up on me.
Yeah, I think getting closer, catching up. I really want to be a heir to Steven's empire. You know.
To be fair, I don't really want it.
Well, then why
So,
are you
like,
winning this?
I'll
Like,
split it with you. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like too much. Like, what am I supposed to? I don't have all the storage space.
Give the wrong answers next
I don't
time.
have the available SSD space for all of the stuff that you'd be trying to give me.
And if you don't want it, then reply incorrectly. Like, make it easy
trying.
for me.
You need to do better.
Wow. I can't help but win.
I think every time I answered incorrectly, I wanted that.
Oh, look, it's just you can't help it but being right.
This is that Federico. I'm using Federico logic.
You
now.
are.
You
You
know?
are.
Yes, I appreciate you.
Yes, so thank you everybody who responded. It was lovely last week to read those as they came in. This episode of Connected is also made possible by Fast Growing Trees. Breathe some life into your own backyard with fastgrowingtrees.com. From shade to fresh fruit to privacy and natural beauty, let fastgrowingtrees.com help you plant your dream garden with their expert advice and fast, reliable shipping. They have plant experts that curate thousands of easy-to-grow plants, shrubs, and trees, varieties for every unique climate. They've got like Mayer lemons, evergreens, everything in between. This website is incredible. A lot of us want nice greenery around our homes, right? We want our yards to be beautiful, but it can be hard to know what to plant, where it should go, when you should plant it. You don't have to worry about that because Fast Growing Trees has customized recommendations based on your specific needs. And those experts are always available to help keep your plants growing healthy through the season and beyond. So there's no more waiting in long lines or hauling heavy plants around. You order online and your plants arrive at your door in just a few days. My wife and I recently ordered a couple of plants through Fast Growing Trees. The website is really awesome because you tell it where you are and those curated things come up. So we told it, our location, the type of sun we had. We were able to make our orders. They came very quickly. They were in great shape in the packaging. And now they have joined our backyard, making it all the more beautiful. Fast Growing Trees has a 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee. This lets you know that everything is going to look great. Join over 1.5 million happy Fast Growing Tree customers. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com/connected and you'll get 15% off your entire order. So get 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com/connected. Our thanks to Fast Growing Trees for the support of the show and Relay FM.
If you're looking to buy something for a lawn for someone, Stephen, I have a recommendation for where you can send it to. If you need to improve someone's lawn,
Do you?
There's a lawn that I'm aware of that you could actually improve. Might need a bit of Fast Growing Trees love.
Okay.
I have something fun for you, both. D. Griffin Jones at Cult of Mac wrote in of an article that they posted on Cult of Mac, where they broke down Tim Cook's watch face based on an image of him with, by the way, Passionate One, who's listening live right now, Vidit Bhagavar.
So cool.
Who is the developer of Lookup, where Tim was in India recently. Apple were doing some tours of some stores and some stuff that they would go. One of the Tim Cook tours of a place. Mm-hmm. And there is an image which Vidit shared, but also Tim Cook shared of these of meeting with developers in India. Vidit is there, just Vidit and Tim, and Vidit got to demo his app. I think it was Lookup that he got to demo on the watch to Tim Cook, who is raptured by this, by the way. Yes. Vidit, you obviously were doing a very good job. So
such a great photo.
Yeah, and Lookup is fantastic. Yeah. Totally deserved.
Yes.
But then what this image provided was a clear look at Tim Cook's watch face.
Yeah, see, the problem is not Vidit in this picture. The problem is Tim Cook's watch face.
No, Vidit is the solution. Tim Cook is the problem. All right. So D. Griffin put this together, which is incredible. They went and took a look at the face and broke it all down. And I have all of the deets for you. All right. So Tim uses the infograph watch face with the following complications. Top left, stocks.
Sure. He's the CEO. So
top right, weather temperature. Bottom left, workout app.
Okay.
Bottom right, activity rings. Subdial top, schedule. Subdial left, blood oxygen. Subdial right, ECG. Subdial bottom, the home app. Here's my question. Is this Tim Cook's I might be photographed watch?
This is too defaulty to be a personal watch face.
I expect when he's going out and someone might take a picture of him, somebody gives him the Apple Watch he will be wearing that day. Yeah. Not even like change your watch face. This watch cannot ever show a notification.
No.
Of any kind.
No, there was a story a while back that he had a Apple News notification. Maybe this is when they changed it.
What, but was it?
Maybe that came out we can't let people know that he uses Apple News.
Was it a press thing, though, or was it just him walking around his life?
I don't remember.
My thought is if there's ever a professional camera pointed at him, he is wearing the approved watch that they've given him, which would never have a blemish on it and would have the watch band that's currently available that they wanted to, you know what I mean?
That's my watch setup, the Ultra and then the dark trail.
Well, why don't you try? And again, this article, by the way, that D. Griffin put together, you can also download the watch face for yourself based on the watch face setup thing. So, Stephen, why don't you give this a go? You get the full Tim Cook experience.
Okay, so let me open this. I gotta open this on my phone, right?
I mean, probably. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah, because I think if you open it on the Mac, it doesn't know what to do. So let's see. Let me find this link.
And you can let us know how this feels.
I think this could be his watch.
Here's the thing. He does not want to know the current Apple stock price 24/7.
You sure?
Yeah, I feel pretty sure of that. Right?
But he's the
like,
CEO.
I know he's the CEO. Does he want to know in real time always?
Probably.
I don't
Otherwise, he
know.
gets fired. No? Isn't that how it works?
Not really. I mean, look,
Well-
if Tim Cook is at the stage where something so bad has happened to Apple that he might get fired based on the stock price, he doesn't
that's
need the complication on the
Yeah.
Apple Watch to tell him
Yeah,
that thing is
probably.
happening.
Probably. Probably.
He's already aware that it's going on.
Yeah.
It's an okay Apple Watch face. It's not great.
I
Yeah.
guess
It's,
the
too,
official Stephen Hackett seal
it's
of approval.
too busy. Too much going on.
Busy. This one. I was gonna say it's kind of empty.
Well, I mean, it's just
I don't
too,
know,
too
it's-
It's just too much stuff.
I don't like this watch face anyway.
No.
Like,
What does the calendar event say? Like if you zoom in, you can see.
I tried running this through Pixelmator's like enlarged thing, and I couldn't make it out.
The part, I can make out probably the part, but that's about it. I don't know what it says.
Yeah,
Does look like a real calendar event.
it kind of does.
Also, what time is it in this picture? But I cannot read it. So what is it?
it's 11:30.
Past 11.
Yeah, 11:30. And because this was one of the things that D. Griffin said in the thing, like he was kind of roasting Tim Cook's Apple rings for the day. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like, you got some work to do, man. It's 11:30. What are you doing? Because Tim Cook is like a morning workout
Yeah, but he's
person,
traveling,
right?
you know. So we all slip a little bit when we travel.
Hey, I wasn't the one who said it, you know?
Well, I would have exercised, but somebody stole my heart monitor. So
Yeah, that's true.
that
There's
was
nothing
a
you can do
problem for
about
me.
that.
Yeah.
It says like 2 p.m. N14305 depart VidP. VidP? Yeah.
Glad we got that.
I got the high quality version from Tim's tweet.
Oh, good thinking.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay.
So I kind of got it. I got it now. N14305. You know what? I bet it's like some kind of flight thing.
Yeah, it's like
That's Tim's
Yeah.
private jet, man.
so it's probably a real calendar event.
I think that's just his watch. I think that's just his thing.
Oh, we have real-time feedback in the Discord. VidP is Indira Gandhi Airport.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, that's his private
okay.
jet.
That's real.
Okay.
That's his private jet. No. Here's the. I think it's a real watch, right? But like
Yeah.
it is, and it's connected to Tim's phone.
Yes.
But it is like a very specific. Because as well, here's a question: do Apple executives use their own phone, or is it a work phone, and are they separate?
Oh, I bet they're separate phones.
Right. So I bet that watch is connected to Tim's work iPhone. So like all the data is real, but they are set up in such a way that it is like
Right. He's not going to get a text from a family member,
like
in front of the press.
sanitized. Exactly.
Do you ever get the curiosity to like ask, like imagining a scenario in which you could ask these executives like super mundane questions, like, hey Craig, do you like broccoli, or like, are you good at Tetris? Like,
It is honestly my ideal type of question to ask someone in this position, but it's not something that anyone would ever be happy with me doing.
I know that's the problem. Like you're like, I would super want to know, like, hey, what's I don't know, your favorite food or something, like, you know?
Because also
get-
there is rarely a question which they can answer. Like if we had the opportunity to have Tim on the show, right?
Right.
And we said to him like,
Do you like broccoli?
no, but like if we asked him the actual questions that people would want you to ask him,
Right.
Yeah.
the answers by and large will be unsatisfactory.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so like you have to do enough work to try and come up with getting a tech focused answer which could be interesting, right? So like that is hard work. It would be more fun to be like, hey Tim, what do you have for breakfast?
Yes.
Like I think that would just be a more interesting
Yes.
conversation to have.
Yes.
But like no one would be happy with that except the three of us.
Well, that would be, yeah.
Well, speaking of watches, it looks like Apple's Pride watch face and band have leaked. There's an article over on 9 to 5, speaking of them, and it's kind of confetti themed this year.
Stephen, nobody's speaking of 9 to 5. That was cold, Mac.
Oh, no.
This is what happens when you hit your
Well,
head.
look,
you
look,
can't
all these Mac
keep
websites
the
look
Mac
the same.
websites
They all look the
separated.
same.
Oh my
They use
god.
blue navigation.
Oh, no.
You know.
Well, 9 to 5 have that thing now where do they have the thing with the comment where they're like, look at this top comment? So they've changed that.
Oh, I don't know. I use a content
There you
blocker, so probably.
So they're different now. This is a confetti kind of sprinkles as the theme, it looks like.
Yeah, I kind of
Right?
like it.
So like this is for the watch face and the watch band. I think this might end up being my first Apple Sport Loop band.
Oh, it's another loop. Oh no.
You know it is, right? Like that's all they do now.
No.
It's going to be a loop
Why?
for sure. Because that's all
Enough
they
with
make.
the loops. I mean, come on. Enough with the loops.
I'm just saying. It's out there. That's what they're going to do.
I really dig the look, but not another loop.
I've never had one, so maybe this would be my first chance to get one.
Yeah.
But it does look super cool.
It does look cool.
If people want a T-shirt to go with that, by the way, the Parallel podcast here on Relay FM, they just put out a sprinkled focus T-shirt, Accessibility Sprinkles, which is the tagline of the show. So this will fit with that visually.
Yeah, go full sprinkles. Well, speaking of Mac websites, nailed it. Did y'all see this on Mac Rumors about Beats Studio Buds Plus that look incredible? So these are, it's like a frosted transparency. Like they're not perfectly see-through like the...
they're kind of like the nothing
Yes.
ear one.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I love the way these look. I don't know if I have any feelings about the Buds Plus. I've never tried them, but everything should look like this.
Mary
Yes.
try these?
She may have. I don't remember what she's tried over the years. She's currently using the Power Beats Pro because she likes the ear loop, that goes like over the outside of the ear.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Hey, Apple, if you think you have courage, if you think you really have courage, make your next iPhone like this.
yeah, dude, yes.
Give me a see-through iPhone that looks like this.
I would go as far to say if they only did this on the regular phone and not the Pro, I would forego the Pro for a phone that looked like this.
Interesting challenge. Okay.
I love this look.
As you were halfway through that sentence, I was going to agree, but then I stopped agreeing.
But then think of all the things you're gonna miss.
Exactly. That would be very
Just
difficult.
let me pay. Like, I would honestly pay a high premium to get a pro version of the iPhone that looks like this.
To be fair, if they did offer it in the regular iPhone, it's actually not that much of a thing for Steven to say he would buy it because through the course of a model year, Steven buys all of them.
To be fair, it's kind of easy for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you always just buy different sized phones and just
But like
change them up.
we poor people just buy it once. And so we got to really make a good decision.
Wait. We poor people who buy every iPhone year just buy one of them.
We, the poor ones.
I guess yes, we're not Hackett,
Well, we're not Hackett.
Kate just said in the Discord, Mr. Flip Flop, which now has a new meaning.
Oh no! There's the joke.
Wow.
He also flip flopped his actual truck.
Was it all for the show?
No, I assure you it was not.
Were you keeping a persona there? Like, were you in character?
No. No.
He wanted to add to that Wikipedia article thing, the wiki fan wiki thing. What is it?
Wiki fan? What's a wiki fan?
There's
What's
like a
wiki fan?
fan-focused wiki thing where someone's keeping track of all of the devices that Stephen has broken. But
Yes,
unbelievably, I
Someone add a 2015 Toyota Tacoma to that.
these ones, the B Studio Buds, the regular ones, these are Austin Evans's favorite earphones. He likes just enjoy, and he says they sound great. These are the Plus, and so they've enhanced the noise cancellation and transparency features because they're effectively AirPods Pro. They have the features of an AirPods Pro, but they're longer battery life.
I'm often fascinated by Austin's tech choices because a lot of times I super agree with Austin.
Yeah.
Like these
He gets to try everything, right? So I would never try the Beats Studio Buds, but like he's like these are for him. He's like I like these as much as AirPods, but the case he likes more and the physical size he likes more because it just goes right to the ear. It doesn't have like the whole stem thing. So
now I'm gonna buy this. I know myself.
I mean, the fact that I think you and I bought the nothing earbuds means that you should probably buy these because you're at least more likely to use these.
I'm still using them. They are my
Are you?
Nintendo Switch earbuds. Yes.
Oh. Last up before we finish today, I recommend people go read Steven's article, The Everything Headset. I like Steven's take on the headset. It's a good take.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I was happy with that. I mean, there's been a lot of conversation about, is Apple going to release this without a focus, right? Like, what is it? Can Apple really say what it's good for? And it just kind of made me think about the other times Apple has announced a non-Mac product, so iPod, iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. And over the years, they've become more complex. And, you know, the watch and the iPad kind of, well, maybe the iPad still hasn't found its way, but the watch found its way. And I'm just not worried about that going into WWDC. Like, I think Apple needs to make something that has a little bit of something for everybody, because everything is a computer and the headset's got to do a bunch of different stuff. And I think it's okay that they don't have, a killer feature at this point.
It's the final one of the final sentences that really gets me when you say, in a sense, every new product needs to be broad now. That is so true, especially in the tech field, and not just for hardware products, but like for services, for operating systems. Like, everything needs to do a little bit of everything right now. And yeah, that really captures it, Stephen. It's the excellent use of the English language. Yes. Yeah.
To cover that from like the same conclusion, like a slightly different angle of like, imagine like Apple knows what the killer app might be, right? And like, imagine to them they're like, the new FaceTime is like it, right? Like this very realistic, like co-present kind of idea. And like, imagine that they just know it and they're like, we are 100% certain it's so good, so transformative. People will just use FaceTime. We've made this whole new thing, and like, it's what people are going to buy this for. Even if that was the case, and it would be proven out that when people got it and used it, they're like, yep, this is the killer app. Like, they're right. If that was what they got up on stage and said, this is all this does, crucified.
Yep.
Even if they made it and they knew they were right and like, that's the killer app and it's all anyone's going to use, but it can't access your calendar and it can't access your messages, like, people will be like, what are you doing? This thing is a failure. I need, so like it is that idea that you said, like the table stakes of like, if you want to make a device where, remember, like, this is a full operating system because ideally it's supposed to be a replacement for something, right? Whether that's the iPhone, the Mac, or whatever, right? Like, it's been these devices are being created to be the next X, which means it has to replace something. You've got to be able to come into it with like a full complement of whatever, like, and so if you come into it just be like, it does this one thing, but trust us, it's really good. Like, that's not going to be good enough.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think they have an uphill battle here. I think this is not as obvious as a category as the watch was. And I mean, even if it's close to the rumored price, that's a big ask. So we'll see how it goes. But out of all the things to worry about this in advance, it being broad and kind of doing a little bit of everything, that I think that's totally fine. In fact, I think it's actually probably a good thing.
If I may add one last thing, just on what you said about the Apple Watch, just like a really interesting comparison of like thinking back, we cast our mind back. The Apple Watch, the idea of a watch was like, people wanted that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That was a thing that was, I feel like, universally enough of like, this is what they should do. This is interesting as an idea. That is not the sentiment for this product. Like, the entire category, I think people are, at least in our community, right? But I think in general as well, much more skeptical of like this entire product category. So that idea of the uphill battle, especially even compared to the Apple Watch, is definitely the case. Also 100% even further for something like the iPhone. So it's going to be interesting.
I think that does it for this week. If you want to find links to the stuff we spoke about, including all the apps that Myke mentioned and Tim Cook's watch face, you can go roast it yourself and try it out. Head on over to the website, relay.fm/connected/447. Those links are also in your podcast player, along with two other links. There'll be a link to submit feedback on our website. If you have cool Mac apps that Federico and Myke and I should check out, you can see those there, or you can submit those there. If you have feedback or follow-up, you can send that along as well. You can also become a member and get Connected Pro, which is a longer ad-free version of the show that we release each and every week. We are just around the corner from our annual special time. So a bunch of Relay FM shows do an extra episode just for members. And what's cool about this is you can be a member of any show and you get access to all of these annual specials. So ours will be out the first couple of weeks of May, and we got a bunch planned after that. So be sure to look out for that. If you're a member, it'll be in the crossover feed. If you're not a member, now's a great time to get on board ahead of those annual specials, because you also get all the previous annual specials in that feed. You can find us all online. Myke hosts a bunch of other shows here on Relay FM, and he's the co-founder of Cortex Brand, maker of amazing products. You can find him on Mastodon. He is Myke at, I'm going to get it wrong. He is Myke at Myke.social.
Yes, he's Myke.
He's Myke.
I'm just Myke. It's up to you. You know,
He is Myke.
set a Google alert for me and find me there. You know what I mean?
Myke at Myke.social. Federico is the editor-in-chief of MacStories.net, home of Automation April, which we didn't talk about this week, but it's the end of April almost.
It's wrapped up, and we're now judging the shortcuts that people submitted to the contest.
Awesome. Overall, don't tip your hand. Some good stuff in there this year?
Oh yeah. Some really interesting stuff. And now the problem is that I'm gonna spend way too much time on some individual shortcuts because I want to play around with them. But my job is to be fast and quick with all the hundreds of submissions that we got. So yeah, there's some really good stuff in there.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. You can find Federico at mastodon.macstories.net as Vitici. You can find my writing at 512pixels.net, and I co-host Mac Power Users that comes out every Sunday afternoon here on Relay FM, and I am ISMH at eworld.social. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Electric and Fast Growing Trees. Until next time, guys, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.